Chickens. They're a funny bunch, aren't they? People eat them, they lay eggs, so people can eat them, and they have little legs, so people can eat them. Yeah, chickens aren't exactly used for anything else. I mean, you wouldn't ride a chicken into battle, would you?
Chicken jockey!
Well, except for one thing, and that's being used for fairy tales. One of those fairy tales is Chicken Little. Chicken Little, or Henny Penny if you swing that way, is a story about a little chicken who thinks the world is going to end after an acorn falls on his head. He has to go tell the king. On his journey, he meets many animals who decide to join. They encounter a fox who brings them into his lair and eats them all. Well, that's a bit depressing. There have been multiple versions of this story over the centuries, but the story I told you is the most popular one. What they all have in common though is that the main character suffers from paranoia and inciting mass hysteria. Disney decided they wanted to adapt it, and we ended up with this. A short film made during World War II at the request of the US government for the purposes of basically saying, "Fuck Nazis." Of course, this would not be the last time Disney would get involved with this chicken, because 62 years later, we got Chicken Little. This was Disney's first attempt at making a 3D animated movie, and it shows. I actually thought their first 3D film was Dinosaur, but as it turns out, it was only the models that were CG, while the backgrounds were live action. Forgive me for thinking that, as the movie looks so shit. It's a shit movie, and I hope I'll never have to acknowledge it ever again. At least it's not as ugly as the character models in the trailer for the unreleased Sly Cooper movie.
We're running out of... You fucking nerd!
Since Chicken Little is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, I thought it'd be nice to look back on it and see if it's any good. It's not. It's actually kinda bad, yet for some reason I'm just so fascinated by it, and I'll explain why as we go on. So without further ado, let's dive into Chicken Little. 2005, not the World War II version. Chicken Little begins with a typical fairy tale movie opening.
Once upon a time. How many times have you heard that to begin a story?
Okay. It begins with a sunrise.
No, I don't think so. It sounds familiar, doesn't it to you?
Again? Okay. It begins with a book opening.
Oh, no, not the book. How many have seen opening the book before? Close the book. We're not doing that.
Oh, come on! Why does the movie have to pull the wool from over my eyes 3 times like that? If it happened once, then maybe that would be alright. If it happened twice, then that would be annoying. But the fact it happened 3 times makes me question why they even bothered dragging out this joke for as long as they did. It's pretty clear Disney was trying to copy Shrek by trying to be as self-aware as possible.
Like that's ever gonna happen. Oh, look it.
However, it doesn't work when the rest of the movie isn't really like that at all. Were the Chicken Little writers just copied Shrek because of how popular it was at the time? I'm telling you, if Shrek told the writers to drive off a cliff, they would absolutely do it without hesitation. Anyway, the movie actually begins with Chicken Little ringing the town bell, proclaiming that the sky is falling, which leads to the entire town into a mass panic. When the townsfolk finally calm down, they notice the sky isn't falling and immediately look towards Chicken Little, making fun of him. In fact, they think what he did was so embarrassing, they decided they're going to make a movie about him. Okay. I mean, how would a movie about a loony chicken even work? What would it even be about? If you have the answers to those questions, then please email them to me at iwillnotbeatthecinema-to-watch-it.com. All while this is happening, Buck Cluck, who is Chicken Little's dad, sides with the public. Yeah, I know the idea of the sky falling is crazy, and I'm not expecting Buck Cluck to believe him or anything. But even still, the best thing he could have done was at least shelter Chicken Little from the abuse. But no, he just lets him get mocked by the public. Honestly, there's a reason why he is up there with Hitler, Bin Laden, and the guy who drives the blue car in Mr. Bean as some of the worst people to exist in human history.
If I had a gun with 2 bullets and I was in a room with Hitler, Bin Laden, and
Buck Cluck.
I would shoot
Buck Cluck.
twice.
It's not like Chicken Little stole sweets from a baby or slapped Pep Guardiola's shiny bald head. All he did was be somewhat of an inconvenience, indirectly causing collateral damage and in the process nearly killing people. Actually, yeah, fuck him. A year has now passed, and Chicken Little is still an outcast. I mean, at this point, the hate for this guy is just petty.
Look, Mama, there's the crazy chicken!
Yes, it is crazy little chicken. You're so smart. We don't make eye contact. Bye-bye.
You swear he committed arson on the town hall or something. They won't even let him on the bus. What pricks. He goes to school and meets his friends, Abby, Runt, and Fish Out of Water. So you've got a wimpy chicken, an ugly duck, a fat pig, and a fish who can't talk. Honestly, I wouldn't look out of place in this group. While writing the script for this video, I was actually looking up the list of every Disney animated film. And on that list, I noticed Lilo and Stitch, which actually came out 3 years before Chicken Little. And, I mean, it doesn't really have any relevance to Chicken Little. I just want to remind you all that Lilo and Stitch is the best Disney movie ever made. And Nanny is the best girl character in any Disney film. Chicken Little has had enough of being treated like shit, so he decides to join the baseball team to make everyone respect him. His dad is a legend of the school for helping them win the championship. Buck Cluck hears what Chicken Little wants, and like the loving, caring father that he is, he tells him to find another hobby in order to avoid further embarrassment.
Maybe baseball isn't exactly your thing, you know. Have you considered the chess team or the glee club?
I'm telling you, this man looks like he has an offshore bank account in Switzerland because he's a real big fraud. Can I skip forward the part where he joins the team and inevitably he does something good for said team? I can? Oh, great. Because I've got better things to be doing, like watching Lilo and Stitch again. Chicken Little, by some miracle, wins the game and is hailed as a hero by the townsfolk. Life is all good now. People finally respect him and his dad loves him, which is all he ever wanted.
I am the champion.
Today I'm going to show you how to auto-tune vocals.
He gets back home and looks out the window. Something falls from the sky and hits Chicken Little on the head. Turns out this was some kind of panel that could blend into the background. If we were to believe him the first time round, then Chicken Little was right all along, but he couldn't prove himself. It's rather convenient then that this piece can just happen to blend into its surroundings. Instead of calling his dad to prove that he wasn't going crazy, he calls his friends over to see. How would showing it to his dad be a bad idea? I'm sure if they both showed it to the public, it would probably be the most significant scientific discovery of all time. He'd be awarded a Nobel Peace Prize, get knighted by the King of England, become President of South Africa, and best of all, make the townsfolk apologise for bullying him. I mean, whatever. You'll see why not doing that will inevitably bite him in the arse in a minute. Or maybe the wing. God, I'd love to have some chicken wings right now. Fish gets sucked into the sky by the panel. It turns out that the panel was part of an invisible spaceship piloted by aliens. Chicken Little, Abby and Runt rescue Fish, but in the process discover that the aliens are planning on destroying Earth. Now, I might be wrong, but that sounds kinda bad. The aliens attack them for trespassing and chase them into the town. Chicken Little rings the bell again in an attempt to warn everyone. The aliens manage to escape right before the townsfolk can see them, but they end up leaving behind a furry orange creature. As you'd expect by now, no one believes Chicken Little's story of an alien invasion, except this time he has a few witnesses. I mean, Chicken Little risked his reputation by warning everyone of the impending doom they're about to face, so with that in mind, Why would he lie about something like this, especially now that he had people who literally bore witness to the same thing he saw? Is it because they just so happened to be the outcasts of society? That has to be the only explanation. Surely, Buckclock, please, surely this is the point where you stand up for your son in his time of need.
You gotta believe me this time.
No, son. I don't.
Oh, fuck off, you fat wanker.
The next morning, that little orange alien finds Chicken Little and his friends, and they find out that the creature's name is Kirby.
His name is Kirby?
They left him behind?
Darth Vader's Luke's father?
I've got my eye on you. Suddenly, those same aliens from a few minutes ago show up with a fleet of spaceships and start wreaking havoc on the town. As the aliens rampage through the town, vaporizing everyone and everything standing in their way, Chicken Little comes to the conclusion that Jack Kirby is the missing child and must give him back to his parents to save the world. During the chaos, Buckclock finally realizes the error of his ways and regains his pride, love and trust in Chicken Little. And all it took for that to happen was an apocalyptic alien invasion. It's kinda weird how Chicken Little was keen on showing Kirby Puckett to his dad, but not the piece of the sky that fell into their house. That gotcha moment should have happened then, not now. Of course, that's just my opinion. However, the only way that my opinion would matter to Disney is if I pay for a Star Wars cocktail. I never said it was cheap. Anyway, they make their way back to the ship to give back Vanessa Kirby, and they get vaporized anyway. They end up inside a floating dark room on the ship along with other vaporized people. They give back George Kirby and all is forgiven. It turns out the aliens were just on Earth as tourists and were looking for a place that has acorns. I mean, I don't think it was ever explained why, but I mean, sure, whatever. The aliens apologized for everything that happened and returned everything to normal. Except for Foxy Loxy, who must have ended up getting a lobotomy during her time on the ship.
Pump it up, pump it, pump it, pump it.
Lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop.
And everyone is thankful to Chicken Little for saving the town.
Ah, there goes that panel again. Every year we come here, this thing falls off. Seriously, honey, someday it's going to hit somebody on the head.
Oh, actually, you know what? I haven't actually written this in the script, but like, why did they attack? I mean, because if they were just there as tourists, then why did they just come down normally as the furries instead of like being these weird tentacle robots? Like, it just seems like really weird. 1 year later, the Chicken Little movie comes out and the whole town goes to watch. It's an action film that portrays everyone in a fanciful light, especially Chicken Little, who is voiced by Adam West.
Call me Ace.
Everyone loved it. The end. On a budget of $150 million, it made back just over $300 million. It's a modest box office return for a movie that is, well, let's not beat around the bush here. A very bad movie. To be honest, as awful as this movie is in so many ways, I can't help but think how amazing it is at the same time. It's hardly the worst thing Disney has made, but when you compare it to other movies they made during the 2000s, like the previously mentioned Lilo and Stitch, The Emperor's New Groove, Treasure Planet, The Princess and the Frog, and even Atlantis: The Lost Empire, the difference in quality is night and day. As far as the first 3D animated film for the company is concerned, things could have been so much worse. I can't help but laugh at how bad it is. It's a film that has been living in the back of my mind for years now, occasionally coming into my frontal lobe, often during inappropriate moments. Like I could be watching a sad scene in a film, and then I suddenly think about the part where the pig falls over in class.
Loser!
The over-the-top performances, the unjustifiably mean and cruel characters, the dated visuals, It all comes together to create an abomination of pure fun and joy. Honestly, watch this movie with your friends. I promise you'll have a good time ripping this movie a new one. In the end, Chicken Little is a movie that exists, and you should acknowledge its existence too. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go eat Buck Cluck.
Take this, Buck. You're so clucking yummy.
Oh, that was some good chicken.